Do you want to create an Amazon product listing that converts actual visitors to paid customers? Of course you do. All the information in this video, just keep on watching. Creating a super successful product listing requires a lot of technical skills as well as marketing and advertising skills. I'm going to break them down as much as possible in this video with all the tips and tricks to finding out the perfect keywords, how to use the right images, and all those important tips that can really improve your sales and help you create a fantastic listing. However, if this is your first time watching a video on this channel, hi, I'm Crystal. I'm an Amazon seller and I'm the founder of Amazon Sellers Society Middle East. If you want to learn more about how you can join us and become a member of this society, you'll find all the information that you need in the description box below. So to create a good looking listing that actually sells on Amazon, you need two very important things. Number one, you need to know what your customer is looking for with your particular product and why they would want to purchase your product. What are their needs? What are their wants? And you need to actually focus your listing on those needs and wants and desires in order to convert them from regular shoppers, regular customers, to paid clients. Number two, you also need to make sure that you optimize your listing according to Amazon's A9 algorithm or Amazon's SEO. Why is that important? Because one, we want customers to actually see your listing, because if they don't see your product on Amazon, they're probably not going to purchase it. Number two, we also want them, when they do log into your listing, we want them to, as much as possible, convert to actual paid customers. So let's start with the most important thing. Let's talk about the title. The title that you use needs to contain certain keywords. Now, to do your keyword research, there are a lot of softwares that you can use that can help you discover some very vital and important keywords that you need in order to add into your title, your bullet points, and your product description. Yes, your keywords need to be everywhere and anywhere in your listing, including the back-end search terms of your listing, so that the Amazon SEO system can better read your listing. Now, with that being said, how can we break up, or are there any rules basically to creating a title on Amazon? Let's talk about the first 5 words. The first 5 words of your title actually make up your canonical URL. You will see those 5 words in the URL, the canonical URL of your listing. They are very important, and that's how your product ranks better and higher and faster for certain keywords. So you need to make sure when you create that title that you know what main keywords should be in that title, so that Amazon creates your canonical URL. So to start off with, you can start with your brand name in the first, that's the first thing you can start off your title with, your brand name. Second thing would be your product identifiers or your main keywords. And the last thing would be the benefits of that product, or where it can be used, or by who it can be actually used. So just to make it a little bit more interesting for customers to, read your title and understand what that product really is all about. Let me show you a few examples. So as you can see here, this is a Bluetooth headphone. It's called Active, the brand is Cohen E7, active noise cancelling headphones, Bluetooth headphones with microphone. And you can see those keywords in the canonical URL up here. Yeah. So the word headphones, you can see it only once, because that's how Amazon actually works. Now, for this product, you can also see WOD is the brand name, Nation Speed Jump Rope, and you can see all those keywords up here in the canonical URL. This seller has also added why this product is used or by whom or where it can be used. So basically endurance workout, for boxing, MMA, martial arts, or just staying fit, and who can actually use this product. So adjustable for men, women, and children. Same thing here. They said it's 30 hours playtime for travel, work, and black is the color of the product. So that's how you create a title. Now, it's important to note that the title for most categories, it can be around 200 characters long, but make sure that the first 80 characters are the most important characters that you use, because when customers log into Amazon using the mobile, they will not see the full title. They will only see the first 80 characters. So a space is not considered a character. The special characters like a comma or a dash, those are also considered characters. So make sure you don't use a lot of those. Try to minimize the amounts of punctuations that you have to use. The second very important part of creating a listing that actually sells and converts: images. Probably images are definitely more important than the title. They're basically the most important thing, and that's according to Amazon data. I'm going to be focusing on 3 types of images that you need. First off, you need what is known as a hero image or a main image. You can choose that main image to be a 3D rendered image rather than a real life image. It just showcases the product in such a different light. It does cost more to create a 3D rendered image. However, it's worth it because it just shows the product to be completely professionally done. It just changes the whole entire listing. Your main image is very important because that's the image that customers see when they search for your product. So when they do a search and they find all the products listed, that's what they're going to see. They're going to see the main image. 2 other very important images, a lifestyle image, or some people call it an in-action image. It's important because it humanizes the product and it shows customers how they can enjoy using the product, whether that be Bluetooth headphones or a cheese grater. It just changes the product from an actual product into an experience, an emotional experience. Another type of image is an infographic. An infographic is a fantastic type of image because also it shows the product or your brand actually. It showcases your product and brand as a very professional brand. It also shows the value of your product in comparison with somebody else, competitors that is. And you can highlight the main features of your product, whether that be it certain types of material, certain different features that you want to highlight. You can use this type of image to really highlight those. Now, to better understand about images, I'm going to be speaking with Fred from Prime Label Studios, based in the Philippines. They're experts at creating images that can optimize your listing. Let's just talk about the images and what you think should be done with the images. Is it, in your opinion, important to have professionally done images from the very beginning, or should you maybe test out and then create images? Just just give me your opinion.
I think you don't
Because
know
you're an Amazon seller, so you would know.
It's impossible to know exactly at what point some customers are going to make the decision about what they're buying your product for. So what you need to do is cover all bases. You can't let out on like details and hope that no one will see them, because someone is going to see that and they're going to mistrust your product. You have to have the same approach to images, which are your storefront. You have to have the same approach to those that you have to the quality of your product. In that sense, you need to give it due process. You need to give it due diligence, and you need to have someone working with you, like your photographer or a team who understands you and your values and also wants to put as much effort into the images as you put in your product. It's got to match that at least, so that you don't get a font that was just haphazardly thrown in there because your photographer didn't actually really respect the work that much, because that can turn around to give a worse look on your product, because why is everything else looking so good and then you just have this lazy font, for example. And that's just infography, right? So that's an infographic, not even an image.
Yeah.
But if you have a good photo, then your brain, which is scanning like thousands of images, in a couple hours if you're browsing Amazon, it's got like what, 10 to 15 milliseconds to process your image. How are you going to instantly communicate into someone's brain that you are trustworthy? You've got something on the line that they need. It has to be so subtle and subliminal that they don't even have time to process that they're already trusting you. And that has to come through the quality of the image, the
Yeah.
setup,
Yeah.
the colors, the mood, the hue of the vibrance and the light and all these things. And you have to have a feeling for this. This is something you need to develop. Not everyone, starts out with a perfect visual design language embedded in their mind. You have to practice. So either get yourself a good team from the start, or be ready that you're new to this and you're gonna have to learn and you're gonna have to listen and take a lot of notes. I think, let's say, for example, when we read text, now I know you're in the UAE, so Arabic is read backwards to the English alphabet, let's say.
Sure. Yeah.
So your eyes have a naturally trained habit of following some sort of structure when it looks at an image. So I assume, let's see if this is correct, then if you're a Westerner, you would start up here if you saw this image, and then you would kind of go in this direction until you reach the corner down here. This is important to know because if there's anything you can't fault, it's the way we're built, right? So you need to understand, like right now, I'm surrounded by a lot of empty space and it's easy to focus on my head here in the center. But when my hands come up, it becomes easy to focus on them instead, right? So in the same way, you can oversaturate an image with information. If you want to keep focus on something in the center, make sure the lines around it are clean and the space is empty. The colors aren't like hurting my eyes at least
Yeah.
or saturating it. And then when you want information to come in, make sure that the information then outplays whatever it is you need to do, right? So be careful with how you handle information in infographics, because you can make that bottom line of your image, we have a 1-year warranty and so on and so on, and no one is going to read that because what's going on up here is much more
It's too
interesting.
busy. Yeah.
Yes,
Yeah. It's too
exactly.
busy. Yeah.
Or anything like that. But instead, if you made that as an intuitive little icon in this corner, that's the first thing they'll see, because that's exactly where their eyes will land the moment they see that image.
Any advice about the main image? Of course, we all know the Amazon standards. It has to be white background, no models, no logos, no nothing. But it's kind of unfair when you find people breaking the rules a little bit,
Mm.
and you want to do your best. So what? Just give us a few tips about the main image, which we all know is the most important image, of course.
I think a good rule of thumb is always take up the whole space of the image, like get all the way out to the corner of that edge so the customer can see as much of your product as possible. And some people like to have, for example, if it's a jar, they have the front and then the back.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's okay. But if you're buying, for example, some sort of salt sea scrub for your shower, you don't always just choose because you can see the information on the label of the back on the main image. You do it
100%.
because the visual branding of your product is what catches people. So pay attention a little bit to your market. What kind of setting are you appearing in? What do the other products look like? Are they all, let's say, with a shiny silver label and they all have a white bottle or something like that? Then okay, how can you stand out from that? Is that what you're willing to do? Of course, you need to make this decision to say, am I gonna stand out in order to catch people and get their attention, or am I going to silently trust the quality of my product?
Yeah.
And that's like, you know, there's only so much you can do with a main image at this point in terms of what I'm saying, instead of just like changing the entire product, right? So at least make sure the lighting isn't oversaturated, so that if you have white lines on the product, it doesn't just disappear into the background. At least make the product look real.
Finally, make sure that your images are 1,000 by 1,000 pixels so that they are zoomable and customers can zoom on them, especially if they're using their mobile phone. Make sure that you utilize the white background as much as possible, especially for customers who are using their mobile phone. And definitely do not include any titles such as bestseller, Amazon choice, #1, whatever those things, you know, you don't want to include them into your images because they do break Amazon's terms of service. And lastly, you need to make sure that your product takes up at least 85% of the actual image so that it just looks bigger and brighter and, you know, looks like a customer is getting a good deal when they do purchase your product. Creating an optimized listing takes a lot of work. It's both a science and an art. Make sure you put the hard work in order to convert regular customers to paying customers. I'll see you in another video with more information. Bye. Thank you so much for watching the video. If you're interested in starting your very own business on Amazon in the Middle East, and you're wondering, okay, what next? Well, 3 steps. First of all, you can attend our free webinar to get more information about what it takes to actually create a successful business on Amazon. Step number 2, you can download our free cheat sheet that contains all the cheat codes that you need in order to establish a successful business on Amazon. And step number 3, you can become a member of Amazon Sellers Society Middle East. It's a monthly membership system where we provide you all the training and the support that you need in order to establish your business on Amazon in the UAE and Amazon in KSA. You'll find all the information in the description box below or on our website www.assmiddleeast.org.